Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the G3B's podcast. Today, we have Matt and myself. We are going to be your host for this podcast today, sponsored by my father, who is also the owner of the company 6mm Gear and Airsoft. Dad, Matt, would you like to say hello?
Hello.
All right, so first episode on the G3B's podcast. We're going to be talking about many different things about gas blowback rifles for airsoft, and we're gonna go off starting off what to look for, why, the cons, the pros, the price, the benefits, likes, dislikes, and obviously our ending opinion. The first thing I do want to start off with is starting off. Matt, do you want to take the lead on this one?
What's starting off? Oh yeah. Well, basically, when you're starting off, what? When you're starting off, fuck.
You can swear it's we don't give a fuck around here. That's just part of it.
Okay, that's good.
All right, I'll take the lead. Anyways, starting off, basically, when you're starting off on gas blowback rifles, there can be a big catalog and a big, amount of things thrown at your face on magazines, rifles, compatibility, upgrades, all that kind of stuff. And when you're first starting off, the price, we'll get into that later, but it can seem deceiving, right? It can seem like a lot.
Exactly.
Me and Matt, we both run gas blowbacks religiously, and we used to be AEG and HPA users. I mainly use HPA. I never touched AEGs. I hate AEGs with a passion. He knows, but he runs HPA and AEG. Well, he used to, until we started running gas blowbacks. And so, what you want to look for in a gas blowback rifle is something that fits you, right? So I run bigger rifles, bigger, heavier rifles, harder kicking. That's just my stature of human, I guess.
I'm 6 foot tall, so I mean,
yeah, my body type, it needs a bigger platform. And Matt's a little bit smaller. He runs SMGs, whether it's MP7s, MP9s, UMPs, all that kind of stuff. AK-74U. I have an AKM. He has the 74U.
I would say even when you're starting off, though, I would say just start off with a cheap AEG. I wouldn't say too cheap, but that's
when you're first starting off with the airsoft. Yes.
If you're first starting off with airsoft, but I'm talking about if you're refuse to run airsoft and you just airsoft AEGs and you want to run GBRs, then we're gonna get into that. So I would say, but if you're first starting off,
do not start with a GBB. That's the one thing.
It requires a lot of maintenance.
It requires a lot.
Very time consuming.
So why we run GBRs? So obviously, when you get into gas blowbacks, it seems very impractical, right? 30-round mags, $70 mags, which we'll get into more. So we're running, 30-round mags. They're expensive. The guns, they're really slow working on reloads and whatnot.
Expensive.
They can break in different ways and whatnot. I mean, everything can break. AGs, gears, the teeth on the gears. The
HPA are the most reliable, so if you want most reliable
and most durable, depending.
Gas blowbacks are not for you if you want reliability. I'm going to tell you that right now.
But why? You have to maintain them. You have to count your shots essentially. Well, you don't have to count. I do.
I don't count my shots because
No, but you have to. You have to take time with these rifles. So why do we run them? Well, for me personally, and I think for Matt as well, we can both say it's a training aid. It's an amazing training aid. Getting those fundamentals down, getting those reloads in place, those times and whatnot, it's a good training aid. And not only that, it's fun as hell. I mean, let's be honest. The recoil, the bolt dropping, everything's really, really nice. But the main thing is a training aid for me. Matt, what about you?
Same with me, and also the main reason is even when you're shooting an AEG, right? You keep shooting, or HPA, either one, right? You could be shooting it. You could be emptying your mag. You could be empty after these 10 rounds you just fired, and you don't know. Because sometimes the AEG, yes, they can make sounds, but you cannot recognize that in the middle of a game. When you're in the middle of a firefight, your adrenaline's pumping, everything's going on. So you cannot tell that you're running out of BBs. You're thinking, my sights are on point, and you don't know that BBs are coming out. With the gas blowback, even with AKs, they don't keep cycling afterwards. They stop, they click. It's just a click. Or with the M4, the bolt locks back. So that would be the main reason for me for that.
Not only that,
and
it's
also a good training aid, like you said.
Yeah, it's also a good mental aid as well. I've noticed that my performance has been a lot It peaked. It definitely peaked because I've been taking more careful shots, and the way I'm
Exactly.
leaning and aiming and just the placement I'm going on the field, or the place I'm going to on the field is like different than what I would normally do with like an HPA. HPA, you rush right in, you're going
Spamming your
aggressive.
trigger, you know.
Exactly, spamming your trigger, wasting an ammo. That's money,
Yeah,
guys. I don't care if your
that is
bag's
a
only
lot.
$20. That's fucking money.
That's
That's something we're gonna get into in price is the ammo. But
yeah.
um, but yeah. So with gas blowbacks, you take your time with them, and you take a good amount of time to the point where it's like you're going to be making sure that you're hitting those shots, and you're going to be making sure that you're doing what you need to do to make sure your team wins that round, or your team is doing what they need to do in like a Milsim event or something like that. Let's go over pros and cons, right?
Mhm.
Pros, we got the training aid, we got the mental aid, we got the target acquisition practice, reload practice, fundamentals practice. You also get just like the overall, you get a lot of practice in. The cons. There's quite a few cons with gas bullet rifles, especially which ones you get. Obviously, there's the lower end options. There's a higher end options. With the lower end options, you will have more cheap parts. You'll have a lot of more things breaking. You'll
Quality
have all
control
that
issues.
stuff. Say again.
Quality control issues.
Yep, quality control issues, all that kind of stuff. With higher end rifles, you don't have that kind of thing. Um, but you will be
Quality
spending
control
a dime
issues.
on it. I will say you will be spending a hot dime.
GHK quality control issues. Anyways.
Yeah, GHK is a little bit known for the quality control issues, even though they're higher end brand. I think this is with their AKs though, because I haven't heard any of that with their M4s.
Okay.
Um, but that's probably because of the LCT stuff that's going on right now.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But
Yes.
more of the pros, your shot consistency, even with green gas, is more consistent than some AEGs and HPA that I've seen on the field. I will
Yes. Very.
say my AKM and my UMP, I have a VFC UMP and a GHK AKM. I've had more shot consistency with those two guns than I have with a Polar Star Jack, a Mancraft, and a Redline N7. I'm sure Matt can say the same. He also has a Jack and a Mancraft.
Jack. I do have a Jack, and I have your Minecraft. Yes.
Yeah, it was my Minecraft, but I sold it to him for an ESG. That's just it's for competition.
Yeah, competition's no longer going on, anyways.
Yeah, but so yeah, it's the shot consistency is really really nice, and the ability to hop heavier BBs is also there.
Okay, very good plus. You can hop sniper BBs probably up to a point. It depends on the rifle you have.
Like yeah, fours and whatnot.
You can hop fours, which are very expensive BBs. Don't get me wrong, but you're also using less when you're running a gas bulb. Like you're not
Yes.
using HPA dumping 200 rounds in one mag
Mm-hmm.
because that's really
Because
expensive.
that's the thing with the 30 round mags is you're saving a lot of ammo. So if you're running fours, if you want to get heavy BBs, you want them to travel, right? You're running a Milsim event, you're shooting maybe like 50 yards, 100 yards. You want those BBs to travel. So you want to run 3.2s, 3.6s, fours, 4.6s, all that kind of stuff. And these guns can handle them, and you're not paying like $50 every week because you keep running out of ammo. You can use that same bag for at least 2 or 3 weeks, I would say.
And there's also cons, of course, price. Depending
Mm-hmm.
on what gun you get, the mags are very expensive. I
So
know your mags, Braden, for your AK are how much?
$70 to $80.
That is as much as some pistols, depends on the pistol, but that is
Yeah.
literally as much as a pistol, which is very crazy. So you have to make sure you have that kind of income. And also mags do break. So if you're looking for a gas blowback, make sure it has good parts compatibility, like that are in stock. Because if you don't and you break something, your rifle's not getting fixed. You have to
Yeah.
get it sourced out of seas or you have to get it sourced from the company itself. And sometimes they don't let you. Like with my MP7, I have to get the backplate for it replaced, and I have to get it from out of seas, and I
Mhm.
just haven't gone around and buying it because shipping's really
Yeah,
expensive.
a lot of stuff does come from Asia just because they use gas blowbacks as a training aid. So
Yeah.
they, most of the stuff tends to come from Europe and Asia. But I will say the price, it's steep. I will admit it's steep. You're paying 300, 400, $500 for a rifle, and $300 is the low end, which can seem like a lot.
like WE.
WE,
Well is way cheaper than that though.
yeah, well is a different story, but well is still on the low
We'll
end.
talk about well in a little bit.
Yes, but WE, some VFCs, like the UMP or the MP7 or like the
Even
KWA
the
stuff is pretty cheap too.
416
Or
C, the WE 416 C is like
yeah,
350, I think. So
exactly. But the price is a lot, right? GHK took him really running 650, $700 for a singular gun. But if you really think about it, you are spending that money either way. If you buy an HPA, engine or whatnot, you're spending, let's say, 200 bucks on a tank setup. Then you're spending 300 bucks on the engine, and then you're gonna get an IGL and a speed trigger. Unless you want a stock trigger, then you'll keep the stock trigger, but you still get the
with the
IGL.
AEGs.
And for the body of the gun as well, you still need
Yep.
a base gun. So that's
Yep.
already $800, $900. Um, Sometimes even 1,000. Or AEGs, you're upgrading gears, you're upgrading motors, you're upgrading triggers, you're upgrading the cylinder, you're upgrading just everything.
Mhm.
Especially with barrel setups, you're getting hop-up assemblies, buckings, inner barrels. The thing with GBBRs is you don't need to upgrade the barrel setup. I have so far not upgraded a barrel setup except for
Does
my
depend
VFC
on the gun.
UMP,
Does
but
depend on the gun
it
because
really does. But your
some guns.
WE, my GHK,
Mhm.
even your well, he
Yeah,
has a
yeah.
well AK-74U, and it runs it runs
It's
well.
I think I just got lucky, but yeah.
Yeah, there could be a luck into it, but I think the only gas Webic rifle I've upgraded for the barrel was the VFC UMP, just because it takes high
Which you
caliber
didn't even
parts.
need to. You
We didn't
didn't
even
really
need
need
to.
to.
We just did.
It was
Um,
shooting really good.
it
Even but with the one that you had in it was shooting really well too. Now you have
the
a
stock
high
barrel,
kappa barrel in it.
yeah, maple leaf yellow bucking in there as well.
Yep,
But
yep.
the stock barrel would, I mean, it traveled probably 50 yards in straight before it
Mhm.
started dropping off. It traveled far for that tiny gun. Um, But the accuracy and all that stuff is all there with just a stock hop up. So that's when you pay a lot of money, right? You're gonna pay a lot of money,
Yeah,
but you
either
don't need
way,
to
with gas
buy other
pedals.
stuff. The money that you would put into, like, let's say a tank setup or an engine and all that stuff, you can put in the mags, which is, yes, they're also expensive, but those mags, if you take care of them, you keep green gas in them, you keep CO2, or well, no, CO2, wouldn't keep that in there, but if you keep green gas in them and all that stuff, you take care of them, you clean them, they're gonna last you a long time. There's a guy on YouTube. Let me get his channel, so I can give a correct shout out here. Uh, let's see. Bada Bing Pictures. He's on. There's a guest Blowback Discord. He's on there as well. Heavy Recoil Club on Discord. You can Google it, find a link for it. It's a good Discord if you guys want to know more information. Bada Bing Pictures. He's had a GHK AKM for 9 years, completely stock. Same mags, same everything, and it's lasted him, and he still uses it to this day. And these mags, especially with higher end guns, they're gonna perform better. So I know with Matt's well, let's say like winter ability, not that's one thing about gas blowback rifles is winter compatibility. It's gonna be a little difficult. Unless you have CO2 mags, which will run in winter, or if you want to run that HPA setup, then you can.
Or
But
an HA tap in your. I
that's yeah.
wouldn't recommend it because you have to detach the hose, retach it every single time you do a
hmm
mag change. So that is a downside
And
as
it
well.
causes more leaks in mags, which I've realized. Unless you like, it's
You
hard to
keep it
seal an
sometimes.
HPA tap
Yeah.
unless it's specifically made for that gun. But most of the time, they're really not. They're made for like pistol mags and whatnot. But with higher end rifles, that price also brings in winter compatibility. My GHK, it can run in winter with just green gas mags, which I've never seen before until I got the gun, and it runs well. It can full auto a whole mag without losing any green gas, and it still has green gas left over.
Do you have
Matt's
a pistol
well
plate?
and the VFC MP7, VFC UMP, those guns you're not going to really get that much performance out of.
No, you will not.
WEM4s, GNP M4s, those aren't going to get that much winter compatibility. So the higher price, you're really getting what you pay for with gas blowbacks, is what I've realized. Is price is a direct correlation with gas blowbacks. Because I've seen with AEGs and stuff, you're getting stuck with like $350, $400 AEGs, and they're just ass. Like the VFC, not the Avalon series, but VFC AEGs, what I've seen is
MPX? No, the MPX is Avalon. Um,
Yeah.
Just like even think about the MP7. The
Actually, no, the
MP7
MPX is
AG.
not Avalon. Neither is the
Okay, well,
MCX.
well, the I'm pretty sure the MP or the MCX is Avalon.
Is
The
it? I
longer
know the
one, the
MCX
M4
isn't. I don't know about the MPX actually because it just came
No, the
out. I haven't.
MPX is not. The MPX is not. What I was saying is, even the MP7, the MP7 AEG costs like $500, and the mag
Hmm.
still costs a lot of money for an AEG mag, which is
And it's
just a
terrible.
spring.
it's,
It's no, it's not even that good. Like you
it's
could buy the gas Blowback one, and it's cheaper. The gas Blowback one is cheaper than the AEG
and
model,
it'll
which is
perform better.
mind blowing to me. Yes, the mags are $80, but also think about, I'm pretty
No,
sure
not
the
for the KWA
AEG mag.
one.
No, I was thinking about the
Oh,
VFC.
the VSC. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure if I don't know the exact price, but I know the MP7 AG mags are expensive as well. So,
But like I
which
was
is
saying, the
weird.
MCX and the other VFC guns, like their internals are absolute ass. Like their externals are pretty good, but their internals are garbage. The gear teeth are always bad. The motors are not even aligned properly. Shimming's terrible. The teeth on the rack on the piston, those always shed too. It's just they're just not good, like just internals. With gas blowbacks, internals are not a problem. Um, when it comes to so I have my AK here. So the disassembly process of a GBBR is there's for an AK, there's a back button, lift the dust cover off. You got your recoil spring. You got this little buffer in the back for GHKs. It doesn't come with the WE or the well, but the GHK is a little rear buffer. And
I
then you have
did.
your bolt assembly, and that's it for internals. And you obviously have your hammer and trigger and
Mine
barrel
came
setup.
with the buffer.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah, mine came with the buffer.
Okay, so there's a buffer in his
Anyways,
as well. I don't think the WE is a buffer though.
okay.
But you also have your barrel and hop up, but your trigger grouping, and then these four parts. And
Yeah, they're very easy to disassemble. Like even if you think about my WEM4, right?
mhm,
Say trigger group breaks, right? If you don't feel
if
like
it
like
breaks,
me, I hate springs. I even as Brayden, I hate dealing with trigger groups. I
AG
so
springs are
with the
worse.
WE, yes, WE M4, say my trigger breaks. Buy it on Evike for $50 probably.
No,
$50.
actually cheaper than that. I'm pretty sure like
Okay,
40
okay.
something.
Okay, $40, right? Buy it, boom, comes in. Take the whole trigger group out, put a new trigger group in. It's
Hmm.
easy as that. Take out pins, put it pins in, and that's all you have to do to replace the entire trigger unit to make your gun work. Say an AEG works, you have to disassemble the entire gun, disassemble the gearbox. Take out the part, put the new part in, shim it correctly, put the guide spring in without it launching into your glass window.
You're missing a lot of
Um,
things actually. So
I'm
disassembling an
being
AG, you're dumbing it
generous.
down a lot. So
I'm
disassembling an
being
AG,
generous.
you have to take out your motor, your grip. You have the buffer tube screw. In the stock, and then you also have to take out your mag release, the body pin. You have to take out two body pins. Three. Oh, actually, you have to take out all three of them
Three.
because you have to take
Yeah,
off the
three.
upper, and then you have to
Hmm.
pull the whole gearbox out, unscrew all the tiny ass screws that always strip, and then hope
Yep.
your guide rod or yeah, the little guide spring, the fuck, I forgot what it's called, spring guide. That's what it is, English. You hope your spring guide doesn't launch across the room if you don't have a screwdriver in it, and
They've actually broken windows before. I'm
yeah,
not joking.
and it's just a pain in the ass, right? With gas blowbacks, if something breaks, recoil spring. That's something gonna break. New buffer, okay, ten
Recoil
bucks,
spring?
15
What
bucks.
recoil spring is gonna break?
Uh, there's a lot of times where recoil springs over the years can get
Oh, like
weakened and
wear out.
whatnot.
Okay, not okay.
There's also a lot of times if you're I've seen a guy on YouTube who had a problem with his I don't know the YouTube channel. I'm not gonna be able to find it. But his buffer stopped his gun stopped feeding because his buffer was actually too dented to feed. Like the or
Going too far back.
yeah, like the bolt was just too far back. So new buffer, 10 bucks. New recoil spring, 10 bucks. 15 bucks, 20 bucks.
Yeah, print a buffer if you really want
You
to.
can 3D. I've seen people 3D print buffers
I'm
and
pretty sure
triggers.
buffers are fine. Buffers are fine. Like, okay,
Oh
triggers.
yeah, no, you're not gonna have a buffer
I don't
problem like
know.
that unless you're running it every single day for
Yeah, I don't know about
years.
triggers. Triggered.
But
That's a whole different.
if you want to upgrade the barrel assembly, easy as hell too. With the GHK, you just unscrew the outer barrel and some other screws, and then just plop a new one in.
You could talk about your RPK thing that you want to do.
Yeah, that one's a little bit harder, but modifications to gas blowbacks as well. You can get a lot of modification. It's like modding a real firearm, right? If I wanted to build, I could build an RPK out of a GHK AKM. They don't sell RPK barrels on the internet. I mean, they do sell AEG ones, which I can have one of our buddies lathe and turn down and make it into an RPK barrel. So modability's there with gas blowbacks. Um, but yeah, it's like if something breaks, it's super easy to fix. It's so damn easy to fix. You're gonna find parts anywhere. They may come from Asia or whatnot. Sometimes it really depends on the part. Like I just had my internal for my safety selector switch snap for my GHK, so it's kind of semi-locked right now. Um, it
Which
still
is fine. I
functions.
mean,
It
that's
still
fine.
functions.
And
Um,
it's not the GHK's fault. The literally gun was dropped
yeah,
from.
one of my buddies dropped it. I'm not gonna say his name because I'm not gonna out
No,
him
no,
like
no.
that. But he
But
dropped
like,
it.
yeah, you just.
We both
So
fucked with
I
it.
mean,
It just snapped. But I ordered it. It's coming
it's
from Red
not
Wolf.
GHK's fault. It's just the
No,
the
no,
the
it's
gun being dropped. So I mean,
but it still fires and it
mhm.
fires the exact same.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's hilarious. We also we did a photo shoot with it.
We did.
We put dirt on it. It still
I
functioned.
still have to do one for mine. I forgot about that.
It still functioned with all the dirt and the
He
grime that was
had
in it.
so much dust in it.
It
There
was
was there was a couple pebbles in there, and I don't know how it was firing, but
it
whatever.
fired perfectly well. But anyways, I was saying most of the times when stuff is gonna break in a gas blowback, it's probably a nozzle or something, or it's gonna be.
Nozzle is the weak point. That is the point of the
I think it's
nozzles
like
to
the
be
only thing that
plastic.
you're really gonna find that's gonna break is a nozzle.
It's the point of it to be plastic. That's why you don't see metal nozzles a lot because that's the weak point. They rather have the nozzle break, which is a really cheap part, than the metal nozzle slamming against the hop up and breaking the hop up instead.
You also don't
So
see
your nozzle
you also hold on, let me
breaking.
put this back. You also don't see metal nozzles because of the feed lips of the mag. Metal nozzles do tend to break feed lips a lot, so there's that too. But
Exactly,
yeah,
that's what I'm
no,
saying.
you do
It's
want
weak
that weak
point.
point in the nozzle. But again, nozzle, $10, $15. Angel Customs upgraded nozzle for the WE that comes with an end pass, $15.
Most expensive one you're gonna find is like $20 for the WE,
Yeah,
which is the one I want. Of course, most expensive nozzle there. Anyways,
but it's like it's so damn easy to work on them. Yes, the initial price is going to be a lot, but people don't think about like the price they're going to be spending in total. The initial price, yes, that's a lot, but overtime price is cheap as hell. You don't have to worry about paying for a
depends.
shit ton of BBs. The mags are going to last. The gun's going to last.
One con though, you do have to buy either propane or green gas.
Yes,
You got to
but
think about that price because one green gas can, depending on your gun, because his GHK can run through
mhm,
like 10 mags or
before.
like right. Okay, well, I
No,
guess
no, I
I.
said before
Oh,
emptying.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
10 mags before emptying the whole
That's on
container,
semi and like controlled shots. If I full auto it, it only goes through 3 mags, I think.
which is still insane. Full auto
It's
on
still really good.
three mags full on
Yeah.
one gas fill, which is very good. It
I think
just
the TM
depends
does
on
the
the
same as
gun you
well.
get. Because if you go high end GHK, you're gonna spend less money on gas
Yeah.
because it's very
GM
gas
Tokyo
efficient.
Marui.
If you want to spend money
Or
on
GHK,
well,
I meant to
I
say.
can't even go through half a mag without it dumping out the rest of my gas. So it depends
WE
on
I
the way you
think
get.
has decent gas efficiency. I
They
can't
do,
we
they
we
do, they
haven't
do.
really tested WE yet just because
I gotta get one of the mags.
our buddy has a WE AKM, but his trigger spring is a little weak. I don't know what he did to it, but his trigger spring's weak, so he just bought a new one that he's gonna put in there. Um, So yeah, I don't know about WE's gas efficient. Well, your WEM4 is pretty decent. It goes like
Yeah,
one
it's
two
pretty good.
mags
Oh
with
yeah, two
full
mags,
refill.
which is pretty good.
It's
Um,
decent for that cheap
the
of a price.
the AKs also have bigger gas reservoirs, so I bet you the AKs probably go through four. It's probably the same,
Yeah,
or three and a half, three and a half.
that's
I
what
would
I'm
say
guessing.
not as much as GHK, but yeah.
That's what I'm guessing as well. But so yeah, overall price. So I would say green gas costs like $12, $15 a can, depending on where you get it. Maybe $8 if you get a
Propane,
good
go
price.
propane.
Go propane. I know there's like people don't like it because the smell or like you
If you're
know
playing indoors, buy green gas. Don't buy propane. You're gonna everyone's gonna hate you.
everyone's gonna hate you. No, I think it's fine in indoors. If you're
No,
running an AK, you need
you
that
want to
smell.
smell like eggs everywhere? No,
Hey, if you're running an AK, you need that smell.
everyone's gonna hate you, and you probably get kicked out of the arena. I'm gonna let you know that right now. So don't run
You're
propane.
not gonna get kicked out. I'm sure people are gonna question it and not like the smell, but you're not gonna get kicked out. I will say though, go um, propane, right? Because it's really cheap. It's like what, ten
Do you have the
bucks?
money? go green gas
Yeah,
because
if you
it
have the
is
money,
better
but
for your gun. It's not as dirty, and it comes with silicone oil in
yeah,
it.
in the can. There are propane adapters. I have this metal one that you can put silicone into, so it has the silicone oil built into it, but it's still not as pure
Still
as
dirty.
green
Yeah, yeah,
gas.
it's still gonna be dirty.
If you have the HPA setup, you know what? You don't even have to worry about green gas or
Mhm.
anything like
You
that.
just still gotta remember lubing your gun. It's if you do HPA, tap your gun. Like
Yeah, it will
Braden
dry it
was
out.
gonna buy a PCC with a Glock mag adapter with the thing.
Exactly.
You would instead of when you're running green gas, you have to double the amount of maintenance you have to do when
Hmm.
you're running HPA because you have to lube it before and after, and maybe even during. Because if you dry that gun out, it's a dry air. It's just air going through your gun. No silicone oil, no nothing. So it's gonna dry out your gun really fast,
Hmm.
and you're gonna have
Especially with
problems.
propane, it'll also dry it out. I don't
Of
know if you
course,
see
yeah.
that or not.
Propane does dry out as well.
Yeah, so just those are just some ideas. You can also go CO2. They have CO2 mags. That's gonna be a little bit more expensive just because it's CO2.
CO2 is gonna dry out your gun
If you
as
do
well.
run CO2 though, little tip: go on like AliExpress and order like a crap ton of CO2 for cheap because it still works the same. So just
Sketchy, but okay.
No, but yeah, just go on AliExpress, order a shit ton of CO2. Obviously Walmart sells it, but it's a little bit more expensive. But if you want like a really big bag of CO2, go on AliExpress. They sell like 50 CO2 cartridges for like what, $20, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Walmart sells like 30 for $20. I don't remember exactly, but
One CO2 mag for my thing, and they are more expensive.
yeah. So there's that route too. But propane and green gas is about where you're going to be mainly worried about. So outdoors, use propane. If you have the money, if you're indoors, use green gas. It's just preference, I guess.
Another thing to think about when you're getting gas Blowbacks, this is mostly for AKs and M4s. I don't know about other guns, but is real steel parts compatibility. Most of the
Yes.
time, they are parts compatible, like good, like real
Both
steel
of our
parts.
AKs are all Magpul furniture.
Yes. Siding with well, so GHK is real spec, so you could add anything you
Hmm.
want, and you don't have to do any modification. With the well, when you're spending less money, it's not going to be real spec. So my grip
I think it's
is
just
the
because you have a
only thing.
74U and you put AKM furniture on it.
No, it's this grip as well.
Oh
It
yeah,
has
that's
a
true.
screw.
I
It's a
forgot about
different
that.
screw, so I had to drill a hole through my grip and have the screw go through the grip on the back plate too.
Yes.
So
So that's another thing
yes,
you're
I
gonna
do
get
have
with money.
AKM furniture on there. That's not what I was going to talk about, but yeah, that's also a thing.
It doesn't
That's not
look
what I
bad
was
at all.
gonna.
It looks perfectly fine.
It looks very good.
Um,
I'm very happy with
we'll
it.
probably have a picture up of it.
Yeah, pull up pictures when during this podcast
Yeah.
because Braden's
Here
gonna
you
do
go.
it.
There you go. Picture. Um, anyways, so yes, that's another thing you're gonna get with money is trades and real steel parts compatibility. I seen so you can get a GHK M4 for like 400, $500, and I think the Colt one is 500 or 600. So you're paying the extra $100 for that Colt licensing.
To be
Um,
honest, nobody's gonna care. Just to let you know that right now.
there's some
Unless
people that do. There's some people that
okay,
do.
there is some people, but if you're shooting from far away, nobody's gonna really care.
Well, I think the reason why people like their trades sometimes is because if they're replicating a real steel build,
Of
which is what
course,
I do.
if you're for pictures or anything like that, of
That
course you
too.
want the trades because if you're getting pictures, you don't want to be stuck with, you know, the
Or
basic
like I said,
M4
you're
stuff.
modeling it off. You're
I
modeling
would,
after
yeah,
a real
respect
steel
it.
firearm that you want to train with. Is that too?
Exactly.
But yeah, you are paying for trades. A lot of it, you're paying for branding and whatnot. You're paying for that Colt logo, that H&K logo. You're getting that out of those guns. Um, but like I said, price is a direct correlation. So, what are some benefits? We've talked about the benefits a lot, obviously the pros and whatnot. Like I
Hmm.
said, um, you know, you got consistency, you got range, you got accuracy, you got the. It is a smaller price point, I will say. It is. I will say gas blowback is cheaper than HPA. It is. It really is. People don't think about it, but in the long run, it's cheaper. I don't care how many times you could try to argue. You can get a King Arms like PDW with a jack in it for $500, and then buy a $200 tank setup, and you're still going to be spending more money because you're going to want more EPM mags, and you're going to want you're going to be running 2.8s or 3s in it, and you're going to be spending a shit ton of money. on your BBs, and you gotta get an Odin adapter, and you want a new barrel
Depending on the stuff,
setup, and all that
because if
stuff.
you are buying a sniper with an HPA, that's a different story. That is a
Snipers
very
tend to
different story.
run more though. They do
Yes,
run a
but
little bit
when you
more.
do get an HPA setup for a sniper, it does cost much.
Snipers are a different story though. That's I mean,
Yeah, with the HPA guns, I've probably when I went through an entire bag of 2.8s with an
oh
HPA gun.
god,
When
yeah,
I was running my gas blowback M4, one day or one weekend it worked
yeah.
fine.
It, you,
Um, I still have to upgrade the nozzle. If you get a WE M4, just upgrade the nozzle right away. Don't even think about it because the
yeah,
BBs
also
are
the
gonna get
stock
caught
nozzle's
in
not
it.
the best.
It's not
It's
good. But
other than
you
that, the
run through
platform's
an entire
amazing.
bag. When I ran through my M4, I used 1/4 of the bag
Not even
compared to an entire
because
bag
we
when
were
I used
sharing the
an
bag that
HPA.
day.
We did. We shared a bag and we
I
used
was
the
running my
1/4.
VSC UMP, and
Yep,
we still used only like a fourth of it
which is very,
with two
very
gas public
cost
rifles.
effective, especially if you're using fours.
Hmm.
If you're using fours, if your gun can handle fours, that is one thing. When you do get gas blowbacks, I would say buy a little bit of each BB. That if you can get that, if you can.
Yeah,
Because you want to test out the weights. Because if you, yeah, sure, you want fours, right? But what if your gun can't shoot out fours that hard? So it will take forever to hit your target. So you want that kind of sweet spot. You don't want to run too fast
yeah.
because then it'll just fly all over the place. But you don't want it too slow where it's like someone could basically catch the BB in midair.
Okay, so let's go over our experiences. You know what we like and dislike about guns that we've used in the past. I'll start first because I think I've run Guess What before you, right?
Yes, you did. You
Okay.
had your
I had a
what was it?
GMP,
Yeah, GMP.
a GMP and Matrix M4. It was Colt licensed. It was like the cheapest thing I could find. It was like 310 bucks or something like that. 320. No, I think it was just flat 300.
It was flat 300.
Yeah, it was flat 300. So that gun was terrible. I definitely got what I paid for. I paid for the Colt licensing, and that was it. I think the
Probably a
mags,
$150 gun
yeah,
without the
essentially.
co-licensing.
It was the mags. They were fine. They leaked so much though. It was like there was no. I also tried HBA tapping them just because at the time I didn't. It was winter and it had no winter compatibility at all. Um, so I tried tapping them and it didn't work. So I just put the valve back in. But they leak so much. Um, they also overhopped a lot, which was really weird. Like it felt like the hop up was just not adjustable. It felt like it was always on, which was weird. Because I tried running like 3.2s and it would just shoot them to the sky, which is good. I guess that's a good hop up, but it was really annoying because that's what I had at the time was 3.2s. But it was just a terrible, terrible platform. Handguard was wobbly, stock was wobbly. No matter how much I tried to tighten it, it was just all wobbly and just a piece of shit. It was a
Yes,
cool gun. I will admit, it
it
was a cool looking gun.
it did introduce us into GBBRs though,
That
because
too.
it is the first GBBR you bought, and it was the first one I ever held.
Yeah,
And I thought
it
it
did
was the
show us what to
coolest
look
thing
for.
ever because when I ran, at the time I was running my high kappa stock. It was not even a good high kappa. It
I
was not
remember
an
that.
ATV-TM. It was a
It was the Terran Tactical one, right?
Terran Tactical by like I don't even know AW Customs or whatever. But
Yeah.
that set me off, and I was like, I want one. So after that, a
It was
few
a
months
decent
after, he
introduction.
sold his gun because obviously it wasn't that good.
No,
He traded it
I
actually.
will
He traded
say
it.
if you're plinking in the backyard with it, you know, it doesn't matter. It's
No,
fine.
it's
If you're
buy
just
the cheap
plinking,
one.
if you're just doing like some room clearing or whatever, if you just want to work on fundamentals and whatnot, it's fine. I'm just
Hmm.
talking about like after a year of owning it, it shat the bed instantly. So I ended up selling it. There was also not many parts for it at all. There was no like new hop up. There was no like new valves or anything for mags. The mags were also pretty expensive. They're like 50 bucks for a terrible mag, which I thought was really annoying. Um, and then so I sold mine, and this is when Matt got his VFC MP7, which he can talk about because it's his gun, not mine.
Well, actually, I'm pretty sure I got that. I'm pretty sure I got that before your GR actually, right? No,
The
no,
GMP.
I know. Yeah, no, I didn't. I don't
You
think
got the
so, right?
MP7 after I got my
Yeah.
GMP. After I sold my
So,
GMP, actually.
I bought the MP7. I got it. Um, First off, don't let your friends try to take off your flash hider.
Yeah,
Um,
that was
Yeah, my flash drive is kind of fucked. Like you can't get it off whatsoever.
That's just
It's
the
terrible.
user error. That is not.
That's don't think about that. There's an Allen key underneath the flash hider. Unscrew it, and you could take off the flash hider. It's that
They didn't
easy.
know that. Well, he
I
knew
did it.
that
I knew that after he
afterwards.
fucked it all up. Anyways,
It's a
um,
door breacher now. That's what it
so it's
looks like.
good. It kicked really hard. You can
It
ask
did.
Braden. He shot it. It's
So
kicks so
it blew
hard.
itself up. You can talk about that.
Yeah, it blew itself up. So I used to run HP on it. So this is why you got to take care of your guns because I ran this gun to the ground. I used
Hmm.
HPA tapped mags in the wintertime. No, I did not lube this gun. I did not
You
lube it
also ran
whatsoever.
high PSI.
I ran 150, which is very high. You
It's
should not run that
way too
high.
high.
Green gas runs at like 90 to 110, I think.
I thought it was less.
Uh, no, that's I'm pretty sure it's that.
Okay.
You can Google it, but I don't know. Yeah, so that's why you got to take care of your gas blowbacks because if you don't, they will explode, and it did
Well,
in the
just that
bedroom.
they don't normally explode.
Okay, something parts break if you don't take care of it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Parts will break if you don't take care of it. You
Yours
have to
more than
maintain
both
it. If
though.
you are lazy and you don't want to take care of your own, do not buy a GBR. Don't even think about it
Exactly.
because you have to take care of it. You have to lube it. You have to take out the bolt. You got to lube it.
It's not a
Even
long
as
process. It's
Braden
actually
started
it's a fun process.
de- depending for when you're lubing. So O-rings and plastic on plastic, you use silicone oil.
Metal
If
on
you're using
metal,
metal
gun
on
oil.
metal on metal, gun oil.
Hmm.
Braden has tried this. It works very good.
Yeah, there's a time where I put silicone oil in one of my guns, like only silicone,
Me too.
and
Me too.
it just made it all sticky and gummy and terrible.
Yeah, it
So
gums up the gum very bad.
it
So
really does. But yeah, so his MP7 exploded.
yeah, I still have it. It's electrical taped because
So
I don't feel like
what
buying it black.
happened was we were firing it. This was on green gas too, which is surprising. We were
Which
firing
I
it.
think that's why because I switched from HPA to green gas right away, and that's when it blew up, which is weird.
Maybe you like mixed the compound. I don't know. I think you
Yeah,
just.
maybe mixed air and green gas, and I just
I don't think that's what happened,
said
but
no.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know either. Honestly, I've never seen that happen before on a VFC MP7. I think it's just the one you got. I think there's like a defect in the. It
Yeah.
still works right now. It's just duct tape or electrical tape together. So okay, what happened was we were firing it on green gas on full auto, and what happened was we kept firing it, and just randomly the back plate blew off. It didn't like blow off, but it essentially popped off from the
It popped
recoil.
off, and I was very confused.
It was so
This
confusing.
has never happened to me before. I was very confused.
But yeah, the whole backplate popped off, so we just electrical taped it back on, and it works.
You know that's crazy about gas blowback. Something breaks, you just tape it. Okay, that's not
You
always a
don't,
that's not always the
but
thing.
you can.
But
If
you
you need
can.
it in a
Like
pinch,
I
you
can get
can.
my gun is working. A part broke. I duct taped it together. It works. Okay,
It
that's
works.
not all the time that works, but it sometimes it does work.
Hell, you
Which
can use
think
rubber
about it.
bands for recoil springs.
Uh-huh.
My AK, if the recoil spring doesn't work, I'll rubber band around the charging
No,
handle and put it around
charging handle, yeah.
the grip,
And it's it's
and it will
crazy.
work.
It will work. It
It
will
will.
work.
But no, yeah. So that exploded. But the performance, how was it? Because you used
It
it.
was
I
very,
don't think I've
very
ever ran it.
accurate. It was very accurate. For a tiny SMG with the barrel length it has, I could shoot up to like I don't even know 100 feet and hit some like a man-sized target pretty
Hmm.
well. Within 3 shots, I can hit somebody, which is very good.
That's what most
Very,
people
very
does.
good.
You know,
Yes,
that's just how it is. You know.
they're very consistent too. If you
So
put the shot and you're trying to lay down more than one shot, like shot after shot, they
mhm.
will. They're very good at tracking each other, basically.
So after this MP7, I was still using HPA for a bit just because I was upset about the DMP and I didn't know what platform I wanted to get. You ended up getting the WEM4
After that fact, yes.
after, which is still up and operational to this day. Um,
Hmm.
uh,
Nozzle just needs to be
the
replaced.
nozzle, we honestly don't know what's up with the nozzle. To be honest, it's just
It
being.
crushed BBs. I don't know why. It's definitely the nozzle, but it was very weird. It's very. I don't think I've never seen it even happen with WEs. So I'm just very
Then again,
bad
we
at.
were also testing prototype BBs that
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
was
yes. That's
working on
true.
with my
That's
dad,
very true.
so that could be it. But, um, but yeah, the performance on it, it's pretty good. I ran it, I think for a game.
Read it for a couple games actually. Read it for a whole day. I'm pretty sure one day.
Did I? I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember. It was good. It ran well. Accuracy was phenomenal. Hop up. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So the hop up on the G&P, it's under the handguard. It's on the outer barrel. The MP7 is on the bolt, right? I think if the
No, the
distance.
MP7 is there's an Allen. So in the
Oh right,
VFC,
that's the VFC
there's an
one.
Allen key. It comes with a thing built in. You just twist the front of the Allen key. It's very easy to
Yeah,
adjust.
that one's very easy. The G&P is very easy.
Any
The
GBR AK, super
It's
easy.
just a rotary
Literally
hop up.
rack and rotary pop up, super
It's it's
easy.
it's like putting a max
The
hop up in a
the
GBR.
WE is a little bit harder. You have to
It's
take
above
apart the
the
bolt,
outer.
and it's
Well,
an
you don't
Allen
have to
key.
take out the bolt.
It's a small Allen key.
You don't have to take out the bolt. It's above
No, but
the outer
it's
barrel inside the chamber.
yeah, it's an Allen key though. Like
Yeah, it's
you can also
annoying.
get out, but that's what's good about GVRs. You can get I don't know if you can get a rotary hop up for the WE, but you can get upgraded hop ups that have
Hmm.
better ways to adjust the hop up.
You know what I forgot to bring up actually? The GNP was not my first DBBR. I forgot I owned a KWA MP7.
Oh yeah. I forgot
That
about
one
that.
was actually that was pretty damn good too.
That was
I was a little bit I was a lot younger though to really process it. I don't know why. Like my earlier years of airsoft have just been me not understanding anything about airsoft, but still playing it. Like I never knew that you can just look off to the side and see the BBs flying. I always use my irons. Um, I never knew anything about upgrading my guns ever. I never knew BB weights. It was really weird. I don't know why. I just never got into it in my earlier years. But I ran a KWA MP7 for a bit. It was really good. Gas efficiency was really good. It ran, I think, 2 or 3 mags before emptying. And then the hop up, I think, was actually on the bolt on the KW MP7. I could be wrong, but it was a Gen 1, so they might have
Mhm.
changed it. But on the Gen 1 MP7s, it's on the bolt, so you have to take it apart, which is really annoying. And I didn't know how to do that. So I think that's when I first met Bert. Yeah, that was. So we have a guy named Bert at our field, Alex. Hello, if you're watching this, or listening to this. I think that's when I first met Bert was about my MP7, because I didn't know what was wrong with it. Turns out it was just a bucking. The BBs were falling out of the barrel. The bucking was screwed. I didn't know that, and so I sold it for an HBA setup, which I still use to this day. So it wasn't
Which
a
is
bad.
not bad,
It's not bad.
but
It could have been
I
better.
still wish you had it.
Which
But
technically, it's still a gas gun that I got. It was a CQB Shorty. It's the
that is
CQB
very
Shorty.
true. That
Which,
now I have.
yeah, even with shotguns, the upgrading process is a pain in the ass, but it's pretty simple once you do it.
But I would not recommend upgrading
Not
shotguns.
no. If find a guy, he can do it. Pay him. Honestly, it's better than
Pay,
figuring it out
pay,
yourself.
pay, pay him, pay you.
Pay me, yeah, sure. No. All that was leaking in it was a cylinder. I just replaced the cylinder, and it works perfectly fine now. That's literally it. There's not much to a shotgun. You have the pump, and then you have, your barrels and your cylinder and whatnot. It's really, really easy. Um, but yeah, so the KWA MP7. But after your WE, that's when I got my VFC UMP45.
Yep.
Phenomenal gun, amazing upgradability, amazing gas capacity. The only problem with the gun is when I say upgradability, I mean barrel and bucking. That's really about it. You're not gonna find upgraded triggers and stuff. It's a UMP, or a hop up. You can't. I think you can maybe find a new upgraded UMP hop up. I really don't know. I didn't look that too much into it, but it takes high kappa parts. It takes a high kappa barrel and bucking. So we put Tokyo Marui stuff in it, and it works phenomenal. And
An
Maple Leaf
extra
stuff.
Tokamiri barrel and a Maple Leaf bucking that I never used, and I said this is perfect because Maple Leaf, the
The
yellow one,
yellow,
is for heavier weight BBs, and I said this is perfect, so let me
yeah,
install it. I shot it outside.
it beams.
So good,
It
so good.
beams.
I would recommend if you can find a Tokamiri hop up. If you have a UMP 45 gas blowback,
Yeah,
find a stock
if you
barrel
can.
because I
If
would not
not, run a
recommend
603.
tight bore. I would not run tight bore like
No,
601.
that's the thing
But
with gas blowback. Don't run a tight bore if you're running heavier BBs. Tight bore is a terrible idea. The
yeah,
max you should get is like a 603, maybe a 602. Don't get a 601 or 600.
but yeah. So just get a stock barrel and run a Maple Leaf
But yeah, the
uh
UMP,
yellow one.
it shot so well for being such a tiny gun. It shot so
It's
damn
such a good
well.
gun. There is one problem with it, and I'll let you
Magazines.
explain.
Magazines are so bad. They're cheap. They're on the cheap route. I think they're like, actually, I don't even remember. Were they 40?
45.
I think
40.
so. It might have been like 40, 45. The mag springs. Most GBBRs have heavy mag springs. I will admit you're gonna want a like speed loader with
Not
the
as heavy as this.
not as heavy as this, but you're gonna want that little speed loader with the adapter or 3D print one or find one on the
Odin
internet or
adapter,
whatnot.
anyways.
Yeah, most GBBRs come with the adapter, like a little plunger tube thing, which is actually quicker than most speed loaders. But anyways, these, oh my god, the mag springs on the VFC UMP is the heaviest mag springs I have ever had on anything. I've broke probably 3 speed loaders
Yeah,
on
one
this
of them
gun.
was mine. Thanks.
4 actually. I broke 4. I broke 3 of the M4 mag ones, and then
You broke a plunger
or
handle
was
on
it
one of them.
5? Because I broke 2 pistol ones and 3 M4 ones. I'm pretty sure,
Well, you lost one of the plunger ones.
or not the plunger, pistol ones.
Okay.
Because we lost that one. That's besides the point. That's not broken though.
That was the best one you could use. If you ever do that,
If you
use
ever
a
get a
plunger.
UMP, get the WE gas Moek mag loader. That's the only one that's gonna feed well. But no, yeah, we lost that one. I broke 2 pistol ones and 3 M4 ones just because of how tight the mag springs were. They speed loaders would like jam up and just like so on the pistol ones, the plunger sticks they snapped. On the M4 ones, the BBs would get jammed up to the point where the whole thing just cracks. And
The adapter that's on the end of the speed loader actually
yeah,
broke.
that also breaks too. It's just bad. It's just bad. The gun, fucking amazing.
Very good gun.
The
If they would
springs,
the mags,
terrible.
if they would just fix the mags, it would literally be a perfect SMG.
God, it was terrible. And then, like a year later, I got my GHK AKM. Just got it 2 weeks ago. Picked it up from one of our buddies for a good deal.
Very
I
good
think it's a
deal.
good deal because they're
They're out of
sold out
stock.
everywhere,
And they're not getting any anytime soon. So
yeah. If you want to figure out about the GHK LCT problem, just Google it. In short, they're just running out of materials. But yeah, um, but yeah, I
yeah,
got my
Brandon got really
GHK.
up there.
I got my
You got
GHK.
a pre-COVID GHK though.
Yeah,
I mean,
pre-COVID. This was like a 2019, 2018 GHK. So it went through 2 owners that never used it. First owner, he got it,
Right.
never used it, never ran it. Sold it to another guy, never used it, never ran it. So it's mine now. It's essentially brand new. Slapped some real steel Magpul furniture that I got from Bass Pro. Runs fucking amazing. Everything about it's amazing. The rotary hop up, solid. Hops 4s, beams 4s. So the barrel setup's good. The trigger, pretty damn light. The mags are expensive. I will say they're expensive, but they hold gas like a
Very good.
motherfucker. We've talked
They're
about
really
this.
good mags.
Mag springs, light as hell. I've actually loaded the mags by hand just because it's when I first got it. I didn't 3D print any adapters or anything yet. But I literally loaded the mags, all 30 rounds, by hand, using my fingers and whatnot. Just push the little thing down, put the BB in. I was able to do that by hand, which normally is really hard with a gas Blowback. But God, just the whole gun is just rugged and solid, and just phenomenal. Just everything about it. It's like the most solid gun I've ever owned, and it's for 400. They normally come around $480. I got mine for $470. So for $480, it's a pretty good fucking gun. I don't see this thing ever failing me. Like I said, Bada Bing Pictures. He's had his for 9 years. 9 years, completely stock. After 2 years, I think he said his nozzle cracked, which it's gonna crack. It's hard recoil. Get a TNT nozzle. It's full metal. It's never gonna break ever. Or not nozzle. Did I say nozzle?
Oh, hop up.
Hop
You mean
up.
hop up?
Yes, that's what I meant. TNT hop up. The nozzle's fine. You're not gonna really need a new one. They do sell like low power, high power nozzles, but they
If you're gonna mill some, I would say high power. But if you're just running
yeah. If you're running in
normal,
stock, it's gonna be fine.
pocket.
But he's had the stock nozzle in it. He's never changed it out. So after 2 years, his thing broke. He got a TNT, the hop up. I think it was after 4 years, his one mag started leaking, I think, and he replaced something in it. I don't remember. Check out the video. I'll put it in the description or in the pinned comment or something. I'll put the video. You guys got to check it out if you want more info on it. It's
Good
amazing.
video.
It's really good. It's got everything you want to know about a
A
GHK
lot of
AKM.
information, a lot of information. Me and Braden watched it, and a lot of information, and it's very good.
Exactly.
It helped us out a lot because okay, we
We
weren't
didn't.
actually going to do this, but we were gonna. I was saying, what if you removed the little buffer in the back, right, to make it maybe more like
Yes. Yeah.
harder? But he said, don't do that. Basically, in the video, he's like, don't do that, or you'll bend this like I
He
did.
did it actually. So there's a little buffer in the rear trunnion of the GHK AKM. The bolt is not full travel, and that's not a problem, and I'll get to that in a second. It's not full travel, and so people think, like me, when they first get a GHK, take out the buffer, it's gonna be full travel. Don't do it. The bolt is not gonna be full travel when you take it out, just because of the way it sets in, and also there's the guide, the spring guide, that goes into the AK.
Don't know why they did this, but yeah.
It's like two thin. It's like two thin steel rods. They will bend. They will bend, and it can cause problems. He luckily when he did it, his still runs. Even with the bent steel rods, so his still runs really well. But yeah, keep the buffer in it. Don't take it out. But the amazing thing of it being half travel, which is why I think I'm not gonna get the full recoil thing, the full travel thing. Sure, heavier recoil, but it also means slow rate of fire, less gas, or more gas consumption, less gas or consistency, and just overall a lot more wear and tear on the parts. Yes, it comes with steel stuff. It comes with upgraded steel, which most of the stuff in the GHK is steel anyways, but it just it causes more problems. So half blowback allows that winter gameplay. It allows that amazing gas consumption. Whatever gas usage. That's the word I'm looking for. It allows that snappiness, and it still kicks hard. It really does.
Very.
It kicks very hard for just being half travel. It actually has the real steel AK rate of fire with the half travel. If you put the full travel kit, it's a lot slower. It's like a grease gun how slow it is, or like a full sized Uzi. It's that slow. With the half travel bolt, it's the real steel AK rate of fire. So if you're looking for that, it's there. So yeah, I got my GHK AKM. I love it. I've been using it as much as possible. And then Matt then got a well AK because we saw him on Airsoft GI for like $180. We were curious.
Very cheap. Costs less than a Glock 18.
It costs less than most airsoft pistols nowadays.
Yes,
Nowadays.
very.
Um, but yeah,
Decided to test it out.
tell them about how it is because I haven't held it yet.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
So I got it, and I wasn't expecting much. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was expecting $180. I'm like, this thing's gonna break within a second. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a project gun. I was thinking I'm just gonna make this a project gun. I'm probably not even gonna field it for like 2 months till I get all the parts in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking I get it in the mail. I hold it. I'm like, wow, this furniture's okay. And I'm
Again, you
like,
cut out. Say again.
oh, sorry. I said this furniture's ass as soon as I got it in. I said no. I did not like the furniture on it. The stock was wobbly. Okay. And me thinking, okay, it's a project gun. I don't have to really worry about it. The rest of the gun after I felt it felt amazing. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The entire body is steel. Um, the rear trunnion is pot metal, which I'll get into that in a little bit. Uh, Everything else is steel. The front side post is pot metal. I think that's about it. But everything is steel, which is insane for. It feels very good. I put Magpul furniture. I fixed the stock, which I JB welded the rear trunnion to reinforce it. Problem with the wells I've heard, unless you get the underfolder one, is the rear trunnion will break after time because of they put pot metal in the back for some reason. These were with the old ones. I have a new one. I have no idea because this is a different model from the ones I've seen on YouTube. So the Well AK, the newer ones that I have, has a thicker nozzle compared to the ones on YouTube. The back of the nozzle has a thin piece of plastic that stops it. I don't know what it's for, but I think it's just against the O-ring. It's way thicker than the older ones. So the nozzle did break on some people. It hasn't broken on me. I haven't used it a lot. But the rear trunnion will break eventually under normal use if you do not do any upgrades. the main upgrades I would recommend is JB welding the
Hmm.
the rear trunnion. If you're using the 740U, obviously. And you just put a thin layer of JB Weld, or I use the putty, the JB Weld putty. I would put a thin layer, and that actually helped my stock from stop wobbling. It's very solid now. Um, Parts compatibility, you're gonna have to use this normal, correct guide or the grip screw. For any grips, if you buy any grips, you have to use the original one. So think about that. How you're gonna do it, you have to think about the weight because it's different. Um, Other than that, it's exactly like the WE. Actually feels better than a WE. I've held a WE. It feels better than a WE. In this, my opinion, I don't know if this is correct, but it did feel when I did hold it with all my furniture on it, it did feel almost exactly like Braden's.
Which is the
But I
GHK.
don't. Yeah, the GHK,
And
which is
when it means it feels better than a WE, he's talking about the 74U. The AKM
yeah.
feels pretty
I don't
solid.
know about the AKM. I have no idea. I've never held it, but I've held the 740U. It's not as beefy as the well, which is very weird. I'm very surprised about the gun. If you want a project gun and you're willing to do some DIY, I yeah, obviously all that stuff to the gun, but you also the mag leaks out of the box. You
If
have to replace the O-rings all around the mags.
if you're looking for a budget build, that's probably your best bet is buying a
It's
well
very
AKM.
cheap.
It's
It's nowhere near any other GBR.
it's dead cheap. It's the cheapest thing you can get on the market right now, and it's probably better performing than most guns.
The
Is what I've seen.
WE is the next cheapest, and that's $300. It's double the price of the gun.
For
So you have to
AKs,
think about yeah
there's obviously
for
cheaper,
AKs.
but
Yeah,
we're
but
saying like obviously KWC Uzi is going to be like 100, like 80 as
yeah,
well.
I'm
But
talking about like
full-sized
full
rifles,
size
like even
rifles.
the AKM underfolder, AK-74, those are also 180 bucks for a
We're not
full-size
counting
rifle.
Golden Eagle or whatever the name is
No.
because that's a plastic gas pellet
Yeah,
M4.
these are all steel and metal. It is fake wood and crap plastic, but you can change that stuff out with real steel
I
stuff.
changed it instantly. It feels so good with the Magpul furniture on it.
Hmm.
I'd recommend upgrading the furniture right away when you get the well because it will
Yes.
upgrade your experience very well. And if you don't feel like JB welding and doing, I do have another mod that I have in there that's right in front of the buffer because it does come with a buffer. Is putting a piece of foam so it does soften the blow even more.
Exactly.
You don't get as much full travel, but that's actually better for the well because you have better gas efficiency. Now, when you do buy the well, I would say if you want to not HPA tap the mag, I would say buy WE mags. Don't even worry about the well mag because the gas
Hmm.
efficiency on it's not going to work. The also thing, if you just buy the gun straight up, buy WE mags, buy a WE nozzle. The gas efficiency will be better because of the O-ring on it. I personally can't find the correct O-ring for mine, so I had to wrap it with Teflon tape and then put the O-ring on it, so it would make the O-ring expand a little bit
Doesn't
more.
the WE nozzle also come with an end pass? I don't remember.
It does. I think
It
it does come
might,
with an impasse. Yeah, I'm
because I
pretty
know
sure you're right.
Evans did, but his new one I don't think does. So I don't know what nozzle he got, but there is a nozzle out there
Yeah,
that does come with an end pass.
yeah. So I would recommend that it shoots too hot. I would recommend getting an end pass no matter what. When you buy your weld,
Oh
if you
yeah,
buy a new
most
nozzle,
GBBRs you
buy
need
the
an
end
end
pass.
pass. You need.
I ran even with my crappy the stock nozzle, shooting 2 joules. I think it said right at 400 FPS or 1.9 joules. Right,
Something like that.
very hard, very hard. So I would recommend getting an end
But
pass
most
if
GBBRs are
you're
going
doing
to be like that. My GHK shoots like 1.5, 1.7 joules with a 3.2, and then my UMP shot 1.4, 1.5 with a 2.8.
Yeah, depending on your field limits, it's different stories, but
Yeah, obviously, if your field can allow those high joule outputs, then we don't look at FPS to be honest, just because
no.
it doesn't matter. Joule output is what's going to cause the pain and what's going to cause the problems. So we just look at joules. But yeah, that Joule output's going to be really high in a GBBR. Recommend just getting an end pass or making an end pass as well.
And
There's
also
plenty of
making it.
videos on it on YouTube about it, so figure it out. It's not that hard. Uh, no, but yeah, it's really easy to make an end pass. It doesn't take much time at all, and you know what? Nozzles are $10. You can sacrifice a nozzle. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're buying $80 mags. You can sacrifice a nozzle.
Exactly.
But yeah, the well, it's such a good platform for how cheap it is. I think, you know what, you're
Very.
getting more than what you're paying for, and that's something I've never seen in an airsoft gun before. I've never seen
Like, even
a
if it
gun
was a
like
wall gun, look at the price of it. If you were to just hang it on your wall to make it look like a, $180, people pay more that for artwork. Okay.
that's
Depending
true.
on where you live, I don't recommend hanging stuff on your wall. If you have a lot of windows, don't hang guns on your wall, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you do, the well even came with a extra steel flash hider with no orange tip.
Yep.
That's very good for them. They didn't
So
have to do that. It came with a pistol speed loader, came with a jamming rod, it came with a bag of BBs. I threw the bag of BBs away.
yeah, no, I'll never use those. They're probably like
No.
twos. I want to one day measure like the weight of those BBs. I have a
Yeah,
scale that can do that. I want to know what those BBs are.
they're probably twos.
They probably are. I honestly don't know. I've never used them before. I always toss them when I get them.
hmm But like for the amount you're paying, it's so worth it. Like if the
Very.
gun didn't even work and you just hang it on your wall,
Still, you know
it's
what? It's
super
still a
cheap.
decent little
But it
piece of
works
wood.
really well. So
Cosplay gun.
I don't know what to say.
If you're running a cosplay, you need a cheap, build. There you go. If you want something like a little realistic for your cosplay, run it. $180. Here you go.
Exactly, it costs less than 3 of your mags.
So we're coming to a close here. Our ending opinion on the gas blowback rifle. What do you think, Matt?
I think you do what you want to do. You do what you like. Do not think of our opinions as we're just trying to, spread information. We're not trying to
Exactly.
opinionate you in any way possible.
There will be episodes
Do
for that.
what you would like.
We'll,
Exactly.
we'll have episodes for ranting and having opinions, but
Yes, yes,
for right
yes.
now, it's an introduction. This is our first episode. It's a little test run, little
Sit
test run. I was adjusting my mic volume throughout the video, so if there's like a little fluctuation, that's just me doing that. Um, but yeah, this is our first episode. Um, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, our ending opinion: gas blowbacks are a good training option. They're good for reliability. They're just all around decent guns. If you're looking into getting one, I say go for it. There's cheap options out there that work well. WE, well, KWA, good, budget friendly options out there. Um, I will say, if you run a gas blowback and you only have one mag, still run it. You know what? Screw it. Run one
We're
mag.
doing this weekend.
That's what we're
Me
doing this
and him
weekend.
with
Yeah,
both of our AKs.
you know what? It makes you play differently. It makes you think more. It makes you take more accurate shots because you don't have extra mags. You only have 30
I have
rounds.
extra mags. You have to reload them, so
Exactly.
you got to think about it.
It's more of a mental train or a mental aid. So you know what? If you only have one mag, run one mag. It's just how it is. But yeah, the opinion. If you're thinking about it, get it. It's such a good platform. It's a fun platform.
Try it out.
It's a good, training
Even
aid.
if you don't like it, gas blowbacks sell
Yeah, they
instantly.
sell. They
They
sell
sell very
instantly, no
fast.
matter what they are.
So,
I've seen Matrix rifles sell on Hop Up for really.
wells sell instantly. By the way, I don't know why. I try to find them like hop up and I look at it, I click it, and then it says sold because of how cheap people are selling them. Because how cheap the guns
Exactly.
are.
And most of the time when people sell gas blowback rifles, it's not because anything's wrong with them. It's just because
They
um,
get bored.
they just don't like the
Or they're
platform.
getting out.
They like wasting their amount. I will say though, if you do see a boneyard gun on Hop Up, buy it. A boneyard gas blowback, buy it. You can fix it easily. Our friend Evan, who has a WE AKM, he got 2 AKs for $100, and the only thing that was wrong with them was the hammer assembly, which he's paid like $40 for. So he had two $700 guns that he paid $150 for. If you
Very good.
find a broken gas blowback, buy it. You can fix
I'm
it.
buying. I'm buying one actually to this weekend.
Yeah, and
Scar H.
he's buying a VFC Scar H. All it needs is a new, what was it, nozzle assembly?
Something like that.
Like the
Something along
whole
those lines.
housing.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's all
like
it needs.
paying $67 for it, something like that.
It was such a weird price. It was like 67.28. I don't know
I
why.
don't
Our friend likes doing that, where he like gives you weird prices for stuff.
know.
I think it's funny, but
That is
it's really
funny.
cheap. And you know what? He's gonna have a $67 Scar, and it beams. It shoots really, really well, and there's all that stuff. So yeah, that's about the end of the podcast. I'd say good hour of information spewed everywhere
Yes.
for the peeps, for the homies,
Mhm.
for the gas blowback homies and the newer airsoft homies. All the homies.
Where-
Everyone's homies if you're playing airsoft. Paintball too. You know
Exactly.
what? They're homies too. But
Exactly.
um so that is going to be the end of the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed listening and learned something new today. Again, this episode was sponsored by Airsoft Dad and 6mm gear. We can maybe get Legacy Adventure Park in on this as well. I'll go talk to them about that. Legacy Adventure Park here in Lockport, Illinois. Good Airsoft Park. It's all good fun. Good maps, good people, good staff.
Mhm.
Love that place. Been going there for 8 years, never had a problem. So, if that doesn't say something, I don't know what will. But I digress. It's the end of the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed listening. Like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think about it. If you want more, we'll put out more if you guys want more. But yeah, just let us know. Any feedback is good feedback, I think, in my opinion. Negative feedback too, just gives us information on what we need to do. But yeah, anything you guys need, ask questions in the comments. We'll answer as much as possible. But yeah, Hard Recoil Discord, Hard Recoil Club, Hard Kick Recoil, something like that. I forgot what it's called. I keep forgetting. Google it. Good Discord. Join the server if you guys want more GBBR information. I will also put links to all this kind of stuff. Bada Bing Pictures is going to get a link. Recoil Discord is going to get a link, and then Legacy will get a link as well. So check those guys out. And obviously 6mm Gear and Airsoft Ad. Thanks for sponsoring. I'll put those links in the description as well. And yeah, Matt, do you have anything to say?
No, not for me.
All right. Anyways, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.